All right. Hello, viewer. Welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host, Anne Moremi, and it's such a great pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much because you've been following us on Facebook. Our handle is GBS Kenya, and on YouTube, you've subscribed to our channel, GBS TV Kenya. We've also been receiving SMSs from you on our line, 21144. Keep them coming. If you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to share them with us, and we'll be able to get back to you. Tomorrow is World Kidney Day, and it is celebrated every second Thursday of March. And in honor of that, today we're going to be talking about kidney health for everyone. So welcome and enjoy the show. In studio, I have got 3 specialists with me, and I want to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. I'll start with the lady. Karibu sana.
Hello viewer, my name is Lucy Wansa. I'm a nurse specialist for community health, and I am always dealing with the wellness of the people. Community health is that department of health which ensures that people are able to prevent diseases, to acknowledge when the diseases occur, and for early detection. So today we are here to talk about kidney health, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy the show. There are so many things that people do not know. We are here to give you the highlights. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Lucy. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Yes.
And we have 2 gentlemen. I'll start with the one on my extreme right. Karibu sana.
Hello viewer, my name is Radet Liakono from Samburu County, stationed at Wampa Health Center. Great to have joined this show, and we are going to talk about kidney health. I'm happy that I have finally been able to share with the viewers some of these things, and mostly we're going to talk about renal pharmacology, availability of some of these drugs, side effects, and the health education in relation to treatment or using of drugs. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming all the way from Samburu. It's such a great pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
We have one more gentleman. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Bernard Mwega. I'm a nephrology nurse working at Gatundu Level 5 Hospital in Kiambu County. Today we are going to talk about kidney health, and as we've been told, tomorrow is World Kidney Day, and our theme for this year is kidney health everywhere, for everyone, from prevention to detection. Take your pen and paper and be ready to learn about kidney health. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Another thing is that this year, the WHO has recognized the work that nurses do, and they're saying that this is the year of the nurse. So at GBS TV, we are celebrating all the nurses all over the world. It's a global thing, and we're saying that the medical field is blessed to have nurses, and we're the ones who are the beneficiaries of all the work that they do. They're very specialized, and so today we have a community health nurse, we have a nephrology nurse who basically just is involved with what happens in the kidney. So congratulations, and keep up the good job.
Thank you.
So let's get right to the topic. So when you talk about kidney health, the one thing that comes to most people's mind that makes them remove themselves from that conversation is dialysis. So are the people that you want to address today the people who are going through dialysis? Or, you said kidney health for everyone. So just tell us a little bit about what the kidney does and why this conversation is relevant to everybody. Bernard.
No, thank you very much. We are going to start with what the kidney does. What is the work of the kidney?
Yes.
Or really, what's a kidney?
Yes.
A kidney is an organ that filters body waste.
Yes.
It's about 25 grams in weight.
Oh, very small.
It's a very small organ.
Yes,
25.
but we have 2.
We have 2.
Yes.
And usually it has 25% of your total blood volume.
Wow.
25% of your total blood volume in 1 minute passes through the kidney.
Okay.
So even if it's very small, all the blood in your body has to go through the kidney at least about 50 times in an hour.
In an hour?
In an
I thought
hour.
you were going to say in a day.
No.
An hour? Wow.
In about an hour, it filters around 50 liters of blood.
Okay.
So you can see the amount of work that a kidney does.
Yes, it's a lot.
It has several functions. One, it controls the acid balance of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the body has salts like potassium, sodium, magnesium, zinc, and many others.
Yes.
So it's the work of the kidney to balance these salts in the body.
Yes.
Number two, it regulates blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
Blood pressure is regulated by the kidney.
Okay.
Number three, it regulates the amount of water that is in your kidney.
Okay.
So if you have less water, the kidneys conserve water by not allowing urine formation. So you don't urinate.
Exactly, because they want to retain the water.
Yeah, it wants to conserve the water. If you have too much water in your body, the kidneys throws away some of the water through urine. So you urinate a lot.
Okay.
The other function is that it helps in the synthesis of vitamin D.
Oh.
Vitamin D is
The one from the sun. Right.
yeah.
It also
The one
is
from the
produced
sun.
by- Yes.
The vitamin D from the sun.
Yes.
When the sun rays hit your skin, under the skin, there is formation of vitamin D, which is inactive.
Okay.
In active form. That vitamin D has to go to the kidney for it to be activated into the active form of vitamin D.
Okay.
So without kidneys, you will have problems with bones
Yes.
because you are not synthesizing vitamin D.
D.
Another very important function of the kidney is formation of red blood cells. The kidneys produce a chemical called erythropoietin.
Okay.
Erythropoietin is a chemical that is used in the formation of
Erythrocytes.
erythrocytes.
Yes.
You can see they are related, erythropoietin and
Yes.
erythrocytes.
Sites. Yes.
So if you do not have good kidneys, then definitely your blood level will go down and you will have anemia.
Exactly.
So you can see the function of the kidney, that it's a very important organ of the body.
It
It's
is.
one of the first of the 5 vital organs of the body.
Wow. Thank you so much. Already I feel so enlightened. I didn't know that the kidney is 25 grams.
It is.
I didn't know that so much blood passes through it, and it has so many functions. One of the things, the only thing most people like me know is that it has something to do with your urine, whether you're going to the toilet or not. But I can see that it is a very major organ, and people tend to not be so aware of what it does. So tomorrow, you're saying that you're having a function, Lucy, at Kenya Railways. What is going to be happening there, and why should people make sure that they pass through there?
First, I want to thank my colleague for what he has tried to enlighten us, that kidney has functions.
Yes.
So during that particular time, we will be detecting those people who have kidney problems.
Yes.
You know, when there is screening, everybody is screened, whether you are sick or you are not.
Yes.
But screening usually aims to those who are already well, those who are walking on the road and feel that I'm okay, I have no problem.
Yes.
Those are the people we want to find out, could they be having any deviation from the normals?
Yes.
Because as you said, urine controls the blood sugars, it controls the amount of calcium, it controls so many things, the cholesterol levels in the body. All these are functions of the kidney. So through screening process, you are able to undergo some tests.
Yes.
Like simple tests like the signs and symptoms. There is also the urine test, the blood sugar test, the test for the blood pressure, because the blood pressure should be maintained at certain specific levels. For example, it's supposed to be 140/90. We are talking about the millimeters of mercury, or else according to the certain normal levels.
Yes.
Because when I say 140/90, I'm talking of somebody who has never had any problem with blood pressure levels. But if you have had blood pressure levels which are elevated, they are that specific levels because your blood vessels have been hardened.
Yes.
Because the heart is pumping the blood too high at very high speed, and you find that they have hardened to accommodate the speed. That particular person who has blood pressure issues or problems, they will have specific limits according to the condition that they are suffering.
So basically, everybody should actually come for testing.
Yes.
Whether, irrespective of whether you feel you're sick or not. Because sometimes people tend to wait to feel sick and then they seek help.
This is why community health comes in. whereby we want to prevent diseases before they occur.
Yes.
And the first way of preventing disease is first to understand through what we are saying. We are creating awareness.
Yes.
You have to understand that your body contains a lot of body organs, and these organs, just like the vehicles, the way the brakes can wear out, the way the steering cannot be working, the same way with our bodies, we wear out with time.
Yes.
We can wear out because of immunity levels. So we have to be tested. We have to go for checkups.
Yes.
And this is why I'm talking about checking the blood pressure levels, the blood glucose levels, and we have to understand that everybody is at risk of getting a kidney disease, because we all have kidneys.
Yeah,
and
we all have
the
kidneys.
detection is made as early as during birth.
Okay.
Because when a child is born, the midwives usually separate the mother and the baby by cutting the cord.
Yes.
That cord usually have arteries and vein. During this particular time, when you cut and you find that the one of the veins is missing, you have to understand that that person has one kidney. So it can be detected as early as at birth.
Wow.
When a child is growing and a baby wakes up in the morning and the eyes are puffy around the eyes, that is a sign of kidney disease in children. Because a child will not tell you that I have problem when I'm urinating.
And when you think of a small child,
Yes.
you can never think they have an issue with the kidney.
Sure.
But those are the signs.
Yes.
So,
Dry skin.
Yes, dry
Yes.
skin. Just to interrupt you a little, you know, I know in Kenya that we are having a big problem when it comes to non-communicable diseases.
Yes.
There's a high level of diabetes, high level of hypertension, and all those things now, I am aware, are controlled by the kidney. So, Radek, you are in the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
As a country and even as a county, are we well prepared? Do we have adequate drugs for these conditions?
Thank you for the opportunity. Well, it depends with county to county.
Yes.
And for sure, KEMSA has adequate drugs for both hypertension, which
Yes.
Hypertension and blood and diabetes actually makes the kidney disease to progress or to worsen. So drugs for renal system are available with KEMSA.
Okay.
What happens normally, it depends with if the counties are able to pay in time, they will receive. If they are enough, they will be able to receive. And if they have enough statistics of the number of clients on hypertension or on diabetes or people with the renal conditions, they will be able to order enough. So it depends from county to county.
Okay.
If the county did not pay enough for these drugs, for sure KEMSA will meet those counties that have paid.
Yeah.
And those ones that have not paid, they will have to wait. So this probably is the only thing that limits access of these drugs at the various rural facilities or to clients.
Yeah, because sometimes you may have the money, but if the money is going to the wrong uses,
Yes.
then it means that money for healthcare
Yes.
is being diverted.
Yes.
And this is very important for Kenyans to know, because sometimes you want to separate yourself from a lot of the political issues going around,
Yes.
because you forget that these issues affect you. You know,
Yes.
if you go to a hospital and you find that there are no drugs, it is because of a political reason that you ignored.
Yes.
So it's very good to be vigilant and to make sure that you're aware about even the things like how corruption is affecting you personally.
Yes.
This is the one way that corruption affects you directly.
Yes.
If you go to a clinic and there's no drugs, it is because the money
Yeah.
that was supposed to buy the drugs has been diverted elsewhere.
Yes.
That's why you're suffering. So it's good for people to be aware of that,
Yeah.
because when they relate with when we go for screening, are all the counties well equipped?
Well, it depends from county to county still, and still statistics is like something that can actually show whether a county has enough data to support supply of equipment or not.
Yeah.
So like as you heard from Kiambu County, they have 2 renal units already. Some
Yes.
I think have, like the county I come from, they have 1 renal unit which has just been started that I think last year.
That's good.
And for sure, we've not been able to hear of any outcry about supply of equipment for renal dialysis, for renal conditions, or dialysis, or rather something like that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they are limited with the lab capacity to do the tests.
Yeah.
The tests for glomerular filtration rates, creatinine tests. Those are the things that probably limit a county from doing screening, as Lucy has said.
Yeah.
If their lab capacity is not actually at that level whereby they are able to test clients, screen them all. You can have equipment, but if you don't have reagents, then you are limited from doing the screening.
Okay.
Yes.
So in Kiambu County, where you're coming from, Bernard, we already have 2 renal units.
Yes.
How is the performance in those 2 centers? Are you finding that people are coming a lot, or are you still finding that despite having them, how is the people's health-seeking behavior?
Thank you very much. Before I go to Kiambu and say what is happening in Kiambu, I would like to support what Lamek has said.
Yeah.
And note that the government of Kenya has come in very strongly to support renal health.
Yes.
One, we have 52 renal units all over Kenya run by the government. 52. This tells you there is no county
that
does not have.
Yes.
Samburu has, Moyale, wherever, even in Pokot, Turkana, they have renal units.
That's good news.
So previously, before these renal units were set up, it was a sad affair.
Yes.
Because people used to come to Nairobi, Kenyatta National Hospital, or go to Eldoret Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Yeah.
Those were the only 2 public facilities offering dialysis.
Wow, that's true.
The rest were private. As we talk today, we have 181 renal units, both private and government.
Okay.
So there is a lot of support from the government and from the private sector.
As well, yeah.
So what does that mean? The cost of dialysis has gone down. And when it comes to cost and accessibility and affordability, it is good to know that NHIF pays 100% for dialysis.
Wow, isn't that awesome?
100%.
Okay, okay.
The NHIF pays for that. The only cost you'll incur is your transport cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it pay for dialysis at both public and private, or only at public?
At any facility that is accredited
By
to NHIF.
So you need to check where are you going.
Yeah. All you need to check is whether the facility is accredited or not.
Okay.
If it's accredited, then you are sure. NHIF will pay for dialysis, will pay for drugs in the dialysis, and it will pay for tests.
Wow.
Now, to screen for kidney health, you need a very simple test, urine test, urinalysis.
Yes.
In most places, this will cost around 100 shillings
50
or 100. She's saying 50 shillings,
50
depending
shillings.
on where you are. In the rural areas, it can cost 50 shillings. In the urban centers, it can cost 100 shillings. In the very urban areas, 150.
In your opinion, because you're on the ground, is that affordable? Because sometimes people still say healthcare in Kenya is expensive. But when you hear that a urinalysis test is 50 shillings, 100 shillings, in your opinion now,
Yes.
is that affordable or not?
Well, affordability is relative and it is subjective.
Yes.
Because what is affordable to me might not be affordable to somebody else. If you're talking of a person earning 200 shillings per day, 50 shillings is too much.
Okay.
For a test, and they are not sick.
I know, yeah, because we were saying go for screening,
Yeah.
which means you're okay, you're at home,
okay.
everything is fine. You have 200 shillings, which you've worked for the whole day, and 50 should go for a test.
So you already don't have food on your table, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you to spend 50 shillings for a test, so it's too much.
Yes.
But maybe to the middle income group, it is affordable.
Yes.
But to the low income earners, then we might say that it's not affordable. And sometimes when they go to hospitals, there's a waiver system
Okay.
which can be done.
Okay.
And we are calling upon hospitals in Kenya and around to make urinalysis a mandatory test.
Yes.
Blood sugar to be a mandatory test.
Yes.
Hypertension test, BP, should also be mandatory test. Because once you do a urine test and you find that there is protein
In the urine.
in the urine, you find there is sugar in urine, you find there is blood in urine, definitely you have a kidney problem.
Because those things the kidney should have removed before.
Yes, the kidney is a sieve.
It's a sieve, exactly.
It's a sieve. Blood cells are too large to pass through the sieve.
Okay.
Proteins are too large to pass through the sieve.
Yes.
So once they pass, then it means that sieve is broken.
Yes. You can imagine that is such a good
Just
way
the
of
one used
explaining.
Yes.
for chai.
For chai, you know, if you're seeing tea leaves in the tea, it means the sieve is.
Yes,
is
if you're seeing tea leaves in the tea, it means the sieve is not working.
It's not
the
working.
same concept. A very simple test.
And unfortunately, you know, those things don't affect the color of urine. If you have protein in the urine, if you have the blood cells in the urine, the color is still the same. So you, by yourself, you can't tell.
Well, it depends on the amount of red cells in urine. If it's microscopic, then it can be seen.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people urinate flank blood.
No, that one will have you
Some
take it.
people urinate.
You take yourself to the hospital immediately.
Yes.
Some people, when they're urinating,
Yes.
if when you're urinating in a bowl and you find that your urine is forming, it's
frothy.
It's frothy.
Ah.
Then there is protein.
Oh,
There is
okay.
protein. If you find your urine is forming froth, then there is protein.
Okay.
And that alone will tell you to go to the hospital.
Yes.
Tell your doctor, I was urinating and I saw froth on my urine. And my urine color, I've seen it's changing.
Yes.
They will be able to do that. Now back to your question about Kiambu and how the perception of health,
Yeah, health-seeking behavior.
the health system believe. The dialysis unit, for example, where I work in Gatundu, was opened in the month of August, and by December it was full. Within 3 months,
It was full?
It was full.
3 months.
Within 3 months.
And what's the capacity?
It's a 5-bed facility, so we can accommodate 10 patients in a day. And since people do dialysis twice a week, that means 30 people.
So basically, you could not take any more clients
We could not take any more clients
after 3 months.
by January,
Wow.
and by then we had started having a waiting list.
Yes.
And up to today, we have a waiting list.
Okay.
The first unit was opened in 2015 in Thika, and it was already full.
Yes.
Because those people are the people who are living around, but going for dialysis either in Kenyatta or in private facilities.
Yes.
So when a public facility opened, they opted to come closer home.
Of course.
So those who are late to come did not find a chance.
I know. I can imagine.
So since then, that was in 2017. Since then, we every year, at least twice a year, we do have campaigns
Okay.
during the World Kidney Day and during the International Nurses Day.
Yeah.
We usually have campaigns twice a year to screen for hypertension, to screen for diabetes,
Yeah.
and to screen for obesity.
Yeah.
Because we know that diabetes accounts for 35% of all kidney diseases.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Okay.
Hypertension accounts for 30%.
Okay.
And the rest, now you can see that's 65 already.
That's 65 already. That's a huge chunk. That means if you deal with diabetes
Yes.
and you deal with hypertension, you've dealt with 65% of
We've dealt
kidney
with
issues.
65% of the cases.
And I don't know whether that would be the same for you, Radet, in Samburu. You know, when I think about Samburu,
Yes.
I think about pastoralists.
Yeah.
And I think of people who are very energetic, they are physically fit.
Yes.
I don't think about obesity. But is that the same, the way it is? Are you finding that you're also having these issues, kidney issues in that far?
Not as much as my colleague has said. In my county, the lifestyle, of course, is different, completely different.
Yeah.
So as we are pastoralists and we people moving from one place to another, so I think they are somehow physically fit or something.
Yes.
Nutrition also is a little bit a challenge there. So we don't have like these predisposing factors as much as these
As-
other counties have.
Okay.
In our setup. So cases of diabetes, they are not so much.
Yes.
And even hypertension, they are not so much. So as in our setup as well, we have like I think close to 5-6 clients
Okay.
who come for dialysis every month.
And that means they're getting very high quality treatment because they are only 5 or 6.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Yeah?
So that actually says that we don't have.
I hope people don't move there after hearing this.
So we are not actually overwhelmed with
You're
the
welcome.
patients coming for this service. But still, we still have patients who are having blood pressure.
Okay.
I don't have the statistics, but I think
They're still there.
Yes, they're still there. They're still there.
There's
People
something
with
you've
diabetes.
mentioned which
Yes.
is very important, lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to you, Lucy.
Yes.
When he says that the lifestyle of the people there is different from the ones in urban areas, what is he saying? Because it means that this disease is a lifestyle disease. That means that you can decide by how you live, you can decide whether it will come to you or not.
Okay, thank you. One thing I've always said in this show and repeated is that we are what we eat. And if you look at the lifestyle in such areas, there is no much of junks.
Yes.
There are no junk foods because they even the crops there, the area is very hot, the farming is very low. and they eat very less compared to how we eat. If you look at somebody in Samburu and somebody in Kiambu, whereby they have bananas in the farm, they have yams, they have cassava, everything is
Sweet
there.
potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. If you
meat.
go to the market, you can be able to get one tomato at 10 shillings. If you go to Samburu, I'm sure even to get the tomatoes
hard.
is very hard. Skuma wiki, and you will realize that their bodies are not packed with a lot of starch and a lot of fats.
Okay.
So that kind of lifestyle, they also keep moving. They are very, they move a lot.
Yes.
That one predisposes the body to a lot of exercise. And you know, a lifestyle disease shows that you are not doing a lot of exercise.
Yes.
There is build up of these components in the body.
yes.
We are talking of sugars, we are talking of high cholesterol, and you will realize that they contribute a lot,
Yes.
especially to diabetes.
That's right.
Which deals with control of blood sugars in the body. You will realize that those people who have high blood sugars, that sugar or that glucose level, when it reaches to the kidneys, when it reaches to the liver, again it's converted into cholesterol. That cholesterol is stored in blood vessels.
Yes.
Our kidneys are very tiny blood vessels. So when it comes to a point that the cholesterol is being stored in those, what we call the tiny blood vessels,
Yes.
they get blocked.
They get blocked,
That
yes.
is why the kidney cannot be able to sieve.
Exactly.
What happens, we get what we call kidney shunt. It has already been shut.
Yes.
It cannot be able to perform its functions.
yes.
And the main function of the kidney is filtration. It cannot be able to filter what the blood contains.
Yes.
Therefore, that is why we have the external kidney, which is the dialysis, which has to clean the blood.
And how big is a dialysis machine, Bernard? You know, because you've told me that a kidney is 25 grams. So 25 plus 25 is 50 grams. You know, when you walk into a dialysis center and you see the kidney machines, you know, we'll come back to that, but it's amazing how big they are. You know.
Okay, maybe I can answer that. The kidney, the dialysis machine is big.
Yes.
It's the size of a two-door fridge.
Yeah. That's
But
huge.
that is not what is filtering blood.
Oh, okay.
What is filtering blood is a dialyzer. A dialyzer is the size of it's basically the size of a soda bottle.
Ah, okay.
It is basically the size of a soda bottle. If you look at a dialysis machine, on the side somewhere, you'll see something along horizontal,
Yes.
then with some pipes attached to it.
Yes.
It is a dialyzer. It is the size of a soda bottle
Yes.
with membranes inside. So the other machine is just a facility to enable mixing of water, mixing of dialysate, a pump to push the blood out of the body and to put it back
Into the
so
body.
what is dialyzing is the dialyzer,
Okay.
which is the size of a bottle of a soda bottle.
Okay.
So don't be intimidated by
I
the size.
know. Thank you so much for that clarification. And guess what? We need to take a break. So viewer, please keep it here. We'll be right back shortly. Thank you.
everywhere. GBS.
Welcome back, viewer. Today we're talking about kidney health for everyone, everywhere. And you may wonder, who is at risk when it comes to kidney disease? You need to ask yourself, do you suffer from high blood pressure? Do you suffer from diabetes? In your family, is there a history of kidney disease? Are you overweight? Do you smoke? And are you over 50 years? If you answer yes to any of those questions, then you should definitely be screened. Nevertheless, even if you answer no to all these, it's good to go for screening because you never know the condition of your body. So it's always better. Remember that there's going to be screening tomorrow. We'll get more details from the show. And back to my guests. Radet, one of the things that I know is that in Kenya, people tend to rely a lot on what I'd like to call mitishamba, which is basically medicine that is unconventional medicine.
Yeah.
How is your experience? Do people tend to rely on that more? Is it effective?
Well, it still depends. What I know for sure, we don't have like a very robust herbal medicine industry in the country.
Yes.
And little research, little has happened around the effect of herbal medicine in managing renal conditions.
Yes.
In countries like China, they have a robust herbal medicine industry, and they have some herbal medicines. One that has stood out is called astragalus.
Ah, that's from China?
Yes, from China.
What is the ingredient? Is it from a plant or?
Yes, it's from a plant, and mostly what it does to the patient, it actually supplements the ions, the sodium. So it's rich with some sodium and potassium and those things that actually you lose when your kidneys are not properly doing well.
Okay.
So in our setup in this country, we don't have a good researched herbal medicine.
Yes.
And what most herbal practitioners do, they only supplement you through their herbal content.
Yes.
Some substances that are rich in sodium, potassium, just to supplement you with the losing potassium when you are actually losing a lot. So I think it is one area that the government has to do something, or research has to support it.
Yes.
But for sure, the choice for managing renal conditions is conventional medicine.
Yeah.
There are not stockouts and there is enough and sufficient research or knowledge about their effect in managing renal. But you still remember, it's not about renal conditions are actually propelled by other conditions, like as you said, with hypertension.
Yes.
So sometimes you don't need to go for herbal medicine or conventional medicine. You correct those other things.
Exactly.
Like for diabetes, you need to understand if the patient is type 1 or type 2 diabetes. If they are type 2, probably you need to supplement them with some other orals, sulfonyl urease. If insulin is completely shut down in the system.
Exactly.
And if it's type 1, yes, insulin is completely shut. The patient do not release insulin or manufacture insulin in their cells. So what happens, those are the things that you need to solve.
Exactly.
And then your kidneys might probably work better.
Yes.
So as we said before, lifestyle change.
Lifestyle change is key.
That is the first treatment.
Yes.
Go to conventional medicine later.
Exactly.
As we wait probably for the herbal industry to come up and the research supports it.
Exactly, because even things like dosage,
Yeah.
you can even find yourself poisoning yourself
Yes.
without knowing, because you're not sure which part of the tree you took. Was it the root? Was it the leaf? Was it,
Yes.
So we need to really urge our government and our scientists to do research.
Yes.
Because, the problem with conventional medicine is that it has so many side effects.
True.
And so here you are taking medication to cure your liver. But as it's curing your liver, it's affecting your kidney.
Kidneys.
Now you wonder, should I take this drug or shouldn't I? Because yes, I'm curing my liver, but in the process, my kidney is getting
damaged.
impaired. So those are the kind of questions that you find patients struggling with sometimes.
Correct.
And sometimes, to be honest, a lot of times they have no idea that this drug they're taking for
Yes.
this has a side effect, because a lot of people don't read the leaflet. Sometimes those things are written in the leaflet,
Yeah.
but even if you read and you're sick, what do you do? So that's something that we definitely need to think about, because the goodness with the herbal side, I think the side effects tend to be less, you know? Yeah. So Bernard, what kind of research is there any kind of research that is being undertaken at the 2 centers in Gatundu or in Kenya that maybe would create awareness on what we're doing wrong? Because those numbers are startling. Is it the nyama choma we're eating? Is it the potatoes? You know, what is it and what can we do? Because, you know, if you open a renal center, how expensive is it?
Well, thank you very much. About research, there is the Kenya Kidney Research Institute, which is based at the East African Kidney Institute,
Yes.
Yake, and they are doing research on, you remember, in Kenya or Sub-Saharan Africa,
Yeah,
this area of nephrology is quite new,
it is.
and there is no much information on research what has been done.
Yes.
But we are up to it. We have people who are on the ground who are doing research. Mostly, we need to understand the prevalence. We need to understand the incidence. We need to understand the causes
Yes.
and why some areas have higher prevalence than others.
That's true.
That's the kind of research that is ongoing. How expensive is it to open up a renal unit? It's quite expensive.
Yeah.
It is
Because
quite expensive.
when you open it and it's full within 3 months, it means you need to open so many. And you know, I was so happy to hear that there are 52
They are
units.
government
They are
sponsored.
Government sponsored. They are over 180. But if you're opening them and then within 3 months they are full, it means that they're not adequate.
Yes.
So you see, that means that the cost of curing is so much more expensive compared to the cost of preventing.
Yes.
What do you have to say about? I'm sure Madam Community Health is clapping her hands in her heart. The cost of curing versus the cost of preventing.
Yes, prevention is better than cure.
It's cheaper too.
Yes, it is very cheap. It is very, very convenient. The negative part of it is that people are not aware.
Yeah.
People are not enlightened.
Yes.
And I usually see in our clinics, especially when we are having the clinics for diabetes and clinics for hypertension, you can go even, they are weekly. You have, sometimes you have bookings of over 80 people.
Yes.
That is every week. And you can imagine these people will be coming after every 4 weeks.
Yes.
And this means that people are not aware of what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Are they eating well? Did they have the checks? Because if you look at most of the people, who, even the healthcare workers, I'm sorry to say, I'm not attacking them, they are my colleagues.
Yes.
When they come to your house and you give them food, the first thing, even before they test the food, they will ask, where is the salt?
To add.
Where is the salt?
Salt is a capillary
and you will
capital.
find people shaking the salt on the food even before testing.
Yeah.
And you are like, what are we really doing? Because we know salt is sodium.
Yes.
And when sodium is not cooked, when it gets into the body, even the excretion is not easy. It is going to affect the levels of blood volume. What we are talking about is sodium controls the waters in the body. So we take a lot of it. It is not broken down by cooking. You realize that when it is in the body, it becomes poisonous.
Okay.
These are some of the things that we eat. We are also talking about prevention. The first thing is that, do we go for checkup?
Yes.
Because you cannot treat for what you do not know. And if we get these signs, how long do we take before we go to the hospital? These are what we call the health-seeking behavior, what we should do or what we should not do. People get sick, you find that your urine has certain smell that is not usual. You go, you urinate. Immediately after you urinate, there are some crystals there on the ground or on the toilet, but you cannot be able to check if what is wrong.
Yes.
People just don't know. Your urine has a different color. Your urine has small or large amounts.
Yes.
You have so much frequency of urination, or you cannot be able to contain the fact that you have urine in the bladder. It just comes out. What are we also doing? The types of soaps we use, especially for ladies, There are those soaps that when we clean ourselves with them, we get what we call ascending infection. They come up through the urinary system, and there they reach the kidneys. We also look at the toilets. When we go to the toilets, and I'm speaking to the ladies, you splash on the toilet, the dirt on the toilet comes back to your private parts.
Yes.
Then you just walk out, you wipe with a tissue. That is not enough.
Yes.
Because the microorganisms are too minor, they still ascend to the kidneys.
Yes.
So these are some of the things that we should, the behaviors that surround them. And if we get detected early, if we know the signs and symptoms, lower abdominal pains, and especially on the loins, the back pain,
Yes.
and you realize that if we know some of the things that we can observe to guess that we could be having a kidney disease. Anybody with abnormal blood sugar levels, and especially any blood sugar that is above 6.5,
Yeah.
because 6.5 is on the higher normal range.
Yes. Is
Should
that the
not
one,
go.
the fasting blood sugar or
Random.
random?
At
Okay.
random, we just get tested and it is above 6.5.
Okay.
Then we should raise our eyebrows. You must repeat at 3 different times, 3 days consecutively, to see if it could be within the normal range.
Okay,
So these
okay.
are some of the behaviors that we should observe in
And
order
honestly,
to prevent.
when you talk about those things, they are not even expensive. You
Yes.
know, what you're eating, whether you're going for a checkup, those tests for urine, we already talked about the costs. But let's now look at the things like treatment. Bernard, for example, if you ignore your sugar, you ignore your hypertension, your kidney, yes, is letting all these toxins pass. What are you looking at in the future?
Thank you. Treatment for hypertension and diabetes is very important. More than 200 years ago, Hippocrates said that if you don't take your food like medicine, you will take medicine like food.
That's true.
That was a long time ago.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen people with pills, and they have to put pills
Like a bag.
in a saucer
Yes.
for them they are taking medicine like
Food.
because they refused to take food like medicine. The
Yeah.
best medicine for kidney health, the best medicine for hypertension, the best medicine for diabetes is food.
Okay.
How do you eat a healthy meal? Just take a plate,
Yes.
a normal plate,
Okay.
divide it into half. Then on one half, divide it 2 times. So you have a quarter and a half.
Okay.
On the bigger half, put your fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
Fruits and vegetables on the half a plate. 50% of your food should be fruits and vegetable. Remember, even in the Bible, God commanded man to eat fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. Genesis.
Somewhere in the book of
Somewhere
Genesis.
in there.
Then this other half you divide into 2 and you have a quarter and a quarter.
Yes.
1 quarter put proteins, and we prefer plant proteins. If you have to eat animal proteins, we prefer red meat.
Not white.
No, sorry, I'm very sorry.
Oh, okay.
We prefer white meat.
Okay.
I'm very sorry, correction.
Okay. Yes,
We
white.
prefer white meat.
Yes, white.
That is fish and chicken.
Yes.
Don't eat. Red came because I'm very cautious of red, and I wanted to say something about red.
Yes.
All those people eating a lot of red meat, we've seen a lot of joints which have opened along the eastern bypass, along the northern
I'm
bypass.
telling you,
everywhere
everywhere
in
there's a
Kenya.
road.
Yes,
Nyamachoma
and
iko hapo kwa
every
kando.
day in the evening, regardless of the day of the week, you find vehicles parked and meat being roasted.
Allow me to interrupt you a little.
Yes.
Radek,
Yes,
you come from the community of pastoralists.
yes,
You know, you need to tell us the truth.
yeah.
Munakulanga nyama. Do you eat meat or do you not? And if you do, why do you not get sick?
No, yes.
Please break it down for us, because we are
Yes.
we are really wondering what's going on.
Our major source of livelihood is actually animals, and that means we don't have vegetables, we don't have maize, we don't have any other things. So
Yes.
we actually rear those animals, but we hardly eat that nyama like frequently as you people do.
Oh,
Because,
really?
Yeah.
I thought that
it's-
you
it's
eat
not-
more than me.
It's not as frequent as you people may think.
Oh,
We it's not like it's in daily meal. when you go to a rural Manyata, they can only eat once in a month, probably, if something happens.
So that's a misconception. People think that people who are pastoralists eat a lot of nyama.
No, it's happening in towns, yes, because there is a lot of supply of meat around the urban centers. But in the rural areas where these people come from, when they come to health facilities, they hardly use a lot of it. But milk, yes.
Milk,
And
yes.
Yes, milk is.
Because milk, you see, you milk every
yes,
day.
but we see with Nyamashoma, there is some issues to do with, and I think it is one side effect of using antidiuretics
Even if
or
they take
drugs
milk,
for kidney.
it doesn't produce uric acid.
Yes.
The milk.
It doesn't.
It's the red meat that
unlike
produces
meat, right?
Yes.
Uric
red
acid.
uric acid.
Exactly.
And when you see when you have uric acid in your patient, in your blood, in your body, things to do with gout is actually inevitable.
Joints.
As in our facilities, we hardly get, check at the statistics, we hardly get patients that come with complications of gout.
And right there, you already have something to research on. I mean, if you're a student in public health wondering what to research, please just, that is a topic. You know what
That's a
I
topic
mean?
on itself.
It's a topic on itself, and the results are so evident
Yeah.
when you just go to the clinics and see the numbers. So I definitely, I wanted the viewer to actually see that what you're saying is true, by way of example. That the pastoralists, though they interact and rear a lot of livestock, the consumption of red meat is low.
It's very dangerous because it consists a lot of uric acid and a lot of waste products. So raising your level of urea. The other quarter of the plate we had not finished was the carbohydrate.
Okay.
A question I like asking
The ugali.
people is the ugali.
And
I like asking people.
Our ugali.
When I ask you, do you eat ugali with vegetables or do you eat vegetables with ugali?
I think we eat vegetables.
Most of
with
us,
ugali.
we eat ugali with vegetables.
Yeah.
Because we eat a lot of ugali and small amount of vegetables. It is now time to change and you eat vegetables with ugali.
Yes.
Take a lot of vegetables more than the ugali.
Yes.
Because remember, carbohydrates, when they go into the body, as Lucy had explained, they don't get thrown out. You don't, they don't become a lot of waste.
Yeah.
They are converted into glucose, glycogen, and they are stored in the body as fat.
Okay.
Some of these is stored, for ladies, it's stored around the hips, around the abdomen, and on the upper trunk. For men, it's around the stomach, around the hip area also.
That's true.
And this also it can also be stored in the blood vessels. Inside the blood vessels. And this means that the blood vessel will now start narrowing down. The blood vessel narrows until a time comes when now you have blood pressure, because the heart has to pump at very high pressure for it to
get to all the parts.
For treatment, we need to change our lifestyle. Lifestyle change. Exercises. Those people who live in towns, they are very much, they lie on the couch with a remote the whole day, it's Saturday, I'm not going anywhere, walk. If you work in town, like here, if you work here, can you park your car about 500 meters away? Can you come on foot? Can you use the stairs instead of the lift? If you have nothing else to do. In the evening, can you walk to a distance? Can you go to the supermarket on foot? All that, if you can do at least 30 minutes of exercises per day, it can help to use the glucose in your body so that glucose is not stored as fat.
Because when it is stored as fat, that's when the problem starts.
That's when you get problems.
And
sedentary lifestyle.
Yes. And is there hope if you do find that you already have kidney issues? Is that the end of the road? Do we now start saying kwaheri?
No.
Or is there hope?
Kidney disease.
And as you're giving us the answer, let that be your parting shot, because time is almost up.
Kidney disease has 5 stages, from stage 1 to stage 5. Once we get you at stage 4 and above, we can be able to do conservative management, and we can prevent progression to other stages. But when we get you at stage 5, that is end stage renal disease, then there's a problem. Because there are 3 forms of treatment. There is hemodialysis, there is peritoneal dialysis, and there is kidney transplant.
What is the difference between the first two?
The difference between the 3 is, for hemodialysis, you have to go for dialysis. This is where blood is removed from your body through an access, either a catheter or a fistula, and it is taken to the dialysis machine and then back to you. For peritoneal dialysis, we use your body, the abdomen, the peritoneum. That's called, it's called peritoneum.
Yes.
We infuse some fluid into the peritoneum. It stays there for 2 hours. Then we remove it, and it comes up with impurities.
Okay.
Then kidney transplant is where you get a kidney from a donor,
Yes.
and we give you a kidney from somebody else who is your relative.
Yes.
In Kenya, we only allow relative to donate to you,
Okay.
and that's the best exit strategy. So my take-home message to my viewer is: 1, check your blood sugar.
Okay.
2, check your glucose levels. 3, have an active lifestyle.
Yes.
Number 4, change your lifestyle. Have an active, how you eat, what you eat. If you don't eat food like medicine, you will eat medicine like food.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. That is very, very helpful, and I know that our viewer is so encouraged. And what about Radek? Give us a take-home message to the viewer.
Yes. One of the other predisposing factors that we didn't actually touch on so much. In fact, you can have your normal blood pressure, normal blood sugar, and your normal kidneys. But when you subject yourself to other drugs, they kill you.
Yes.
A number of drugs are actually been proven to make kidneys die or fail. One of them is a simple drug like Septrin.
Really?
Cotrimoxazole. Yes.
And what is it used for? Curing what?
It's an antibiotic for many infections, and it's actually a sulfur drug.
Is it still sold, or it has been withdrawn?
It is there. It's there. It's very effective drug. It is
Why
there.
is it still there?
The effect is not as much as that level that we can actually demand, government can demand for withdrawal. It's a very powerful drug.
Okay.
In fact, it's used as one of the drugs for HIV-related cases because it's powerful it works on a wide range of bacteria.
Okay.
When people develop like opportunistic infections, Septrin is the best drug that has been researched on to suppress infections. So people, like when you give birth and your kid coughs next week, and then you subject that kid to Septrin, it's actually, you are actually killing that young kidney that is not even exposed to many other toxins or many other substances. So Septrin has been known, or all sulfur compounds are actually known to be water insoluble. Okay. So when you take and actually excretion is through the kidney, the sulfur part, because I think my colleague knows how the nephron looks like. The sieve itself, it gets blocked. It's a condition called crystalluria. Okay. And at some point, your kidneys actually fail because the sulfur is not able to penetrate. So the elderly and the children, those are the people at risk when you subject them to some of those drugs.
So basically, the way forward is that children and very elderly avoid using things like that.
Yes, they can be given with caution, of course, by the qualified healthcare worker, doctor, or pharmacist, or a nurse, but with caution, the elderly and the young children. Okay. So, but the drugs are still there. The others, like all aminoglycosides, things to do with gentamicin, amikacin. Those are drugs that actually have the potential to destroy your kidney. Yeah. So it's one of the predisposing factors that can actually lead to your kidneys failing.
Wow,
so my take-home message should be like, dear viewer, anytime you take any component, any drug, please have enough of water. Scientists say 8 glasses of water every day. Yes. It helps to clear. It helps you to remove the substances that are stuck probably in your kidneys that you know. If you don't do so, they will kill you slowly. Yes. So enough water is actually ideal for everyone, whether you are thirsty or not. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, don't wait to be thirsty. Just take water, your body needs it. Lucy, your parting shot, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Thank you. Dear viewer, it was a good show. I'm sure now you already know that kidney health is very important, and as a community health nurse, I have something to say that we need to go for screening. We need to be aware of our environment, that is our body, and we should understand that kidney is one of the major body organs. It performs a lot of important functions, and if they are not taken care of, it can risk the life of a person, because if the kidney is not able to excrete all the waste from the body that is supposed to do, they accumulate, they become toxic. You will always feel sleepy, you will always feel dizzy, you will always feel lethargic, because your body is really intoxicated. Kidney health is very important, and it is important for everybody. Eat well, live well, and you are going to have a healthy kidney.
Excellent. Thank you so much, viewer. Please remember that tomorrow is World Kidney Day. Please go to Uhuru Park grounds. There's going to be free screening, and then you can be able to implement everything that we have learned today. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.